Namaste and welcome. This is Janelle, and today I'm going to share with you a video tutorial to help explain some of the changes that we've made to the guidelines for creating English captions for Mooji videos. I hope that this tutorial will make some of those changes more clear and easy to understand. So today I've chosen to use the video No Special Effects Needed, and the team and I have worked together to make the changes that we've expressed in the guidelines based on feedback from some of the translation teams and others to make captions easier to read, easier to understand, and also easier to translate. So we'll start just by watching a small part of this video, and then I'll explain some of the changes that we see.
There's not looking the way there was before, but I'm not sure what's left. Doesn't seem to be a lot happening. Just there's no great doubt, but there's no great certainty either. There's just being here.
Yes.
So one of the changes that we can see here, if I just take us back to near the beginning, is that the way that we denote the speaker, in the past the guidelines would indicate that we would use the word questioner followed by a colon inside of the square brackets. So one of the changes we've made is that we've removed the colon from following the speaker that's listed in the square brackets. Another change that we can see by looking at this caption is the length of the caption. So you can see the character count is 59 characters if you look in this box to the right, with the first line being 34 characters, the second line being 25 characters. In the past, we would have broken this up into a couple of captions of shorter length. So you can see that this caption is about, let's say it's about a little more than 4 seconds long. And in the past, we would have suggested creating captions of about 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds, sometimes even shorter. So one of the fundamental changes that we've made is in the preference to include entire phrases in a caption. This can make it easier for a reader to understand, to be able to take in what's being presented on the screen and understand the full meaning of what's being said because it's presented in a single caption. This may especially be true for non-English speakers who are watching the video with English captions on, which some people will do. Another thing that it helps is that in some languages, the way that sentences are structured may be different than the way that they're structured in English. So having a complete phrase presented on the screen in a single caption makes it easier in some languages to create the translation. So we can see that this caption, "There's not looking the way there was before," is a complete thought, even though it's not the complete sentence. The sentence is completed in the next caption, but I'm not sure what's left. Now, we wouldn't include this piece in the previous caption because then we would have a total character count of 29 plus 59, which is nearly 90 characters, and that's a bit too much. So there's sort of this this guideline of creating captions when possible that are less than 50 characters long in total. 60 characters is okay, and sometimes even between 60 and 70 could be okay if it helps to create more readable captions with complete phrases. So in this case, having this caption of 59 characters with a read rate of 12.7, which is a nice slow read rate, we feel makes it easy to consume what's being shown on the screen. So let's just have a look at that one again.
There's not looking the way there was before, but I'm not sure what's left. Doesn't seem to be a lot happening.
So hopefully you get a sense that that feels natural the way that it's presented on the screen. It feels easy to read, relaxed, not rushed, and conveys meaning very well. So another thing you may have noticed is that we've left out filler words like and that's another choice that we've made, is to leave out filler words that don't add anything to the meaning. We'll see some other examples later perhaps where we've left out duplication of phrases, which is from the same idea that we want to omit words that are filler words that are not essential to expressing the meaning of what's being said. And this is so that we can keep the read rate down as much as possible so that it's easy and more relaxed to read the captions as they're presented on the screen. Now with this next caption, I want to demonstrate the sync timing difference. So let's just back up a little bit. We're going to start with there doesn't seem to be a lot happening. Followed by that is just there's no great doubt. So let's have a look at that.
Doesn't seem to be a lot happening. Just there's no great doubt.
So you probably noticed that just is actually said before this caption comes onto the screen, but we have chosen to sync time it with there's no great doubt when the questioner says there's no great doubt. So just is said a little before that. So she says it actually right here, just. But if we moved this caption back to here, then what happens is the read rate for the previous caption gets to be a little bit high. So we've got a relatively new guideline here where we used to try to keep the read rate below 21 seconds, 21 characters per second. Now we prefer to keep it much lower than that. We've sort of set a boundary of about 15 characters per second when possible. To keep it below that, around 9 or 10 characters per second is even better, or slower is better. So since moving this just there's no great doubt back to where the questioner says just really minimizes the read rate, it creates this sort of speeded effect of the previous caption. Let's have a look.
What's left doesn't seem to be a lot happening. Just there's no.
So for us it feels better to time it when she says just.
There's no.
Or when she says theirs, sorry. So we'll back it up.
Seem to be a lot happening. Just there's no great doubt, but there's no great.
So here we leave the read rate much more comfortable at 11.3 for the previous caption. We've got a nice slow read rate for just there's no great doubt. And we don't feel like it compromises the readability or the way it feels to watch the captions on the screen while listening to the video. So hopefully that's clear. Let's have a look down here at the red exclamation point. So in the past we would have said to look out for these red exclamation points whenever they appear. In this case it's because the character count is 43 on a single line, and Amara has a warning that with this red exclamation point when the character count is greater than 42. So this brings up another fundamental change that we've made to the captions, and that is a preference to have a single line of text, because we've gotten the feedback that this is more readable than having broken lines of text in many cases. So with this caption, we have a complete sentence on a single line, and even though it's 43 characters, it still, when viewed on a phone or a small device, easily fits in the space on the screen when watched from YouTube, and we've checked and verified this. So here's another case where we've made a change. So let's point out just a couple more changes. You may have noticed that in this line that I'm speaking about, we've got Mooji listed as the speaker, and we've shown Mooji's full name. Another change that we've made is a preference to use Mooji's full name when it doesn't compromise the read rate or the grouping of captions by phrases. So in this case, we've got enough space. We've still got a read rate of only 8.1 characters per second, which is very nice and slow. And we are maintaining our desire to have less than 50 characters per line, less than 50 characters per caption when possible. So we've been able to satisfy those two constraints that we've created to create more readable captions, and we're still able to use Mooji's full name, and so that is a significant change in the guidelines. One more thing that I'll point out in the caption above is another example. So when there are sounds that are made in the video, we sometimes will note those sounds with something, in this case it's laughter, and we'll note the sound with the word laughter in square brackets. In the past iteration of the guidelines, we would have directed you to capitalize the L, the first letter of the word, in the square brackets. So that's one change. Another change is that we wouldn't have placed that sound indicator laughter on the same line as words that are spoken, the way that we do here. But we've gotten feedback that this is okay and preferable even. So let's just have a look at this and how it looks on the screen and how it sounds.
To either, there's just being here.
Yes. Great. It doesn't have to be something